So a week ago, the government in British Columbia, which is my province, they called a snap election, which means that an election has to happen and has to happen fast. We have a month to do it, and I got hired on by the Green Party in BC, which I've worked for before on a number of different things, including their last provincial campaign. Because it's a snap election, what that means is that we're already behind. The party who called the election took a couple weeks to start preparing in advance, but everyone else is at a disadvantage. I'm working for one of the smaller parties. We do have people who have seats in the legislature, but we still thought we had another year to plan out what was coming for the next election. So the election was called last week. So I've actually been working for this last week just in my office editing. I've had to create a number of videos that I've had to get out. And so I'm not sure when I'm going to post this. It'll probably be after the election. I think I'm just going to film while the election's going on because I don't have time to edit anything else. But I wanted to document this because if you've never worked an election, it is crazy, it is busy, and it is a ton of fun. So the question of this video isn't going to be whether or not my party won or lost, it's whether I survived. So let's go do this. Alright, so I haven't posted anything on this channel in quite a while. And normally I don't like to announce that sort of thing because I often don't post things on this channel for quite a while. I'm very inconsistent here, but I want to talk about this time because I was away on a project, or rather, I was here in this basement on a project that ate all my time for several weeks. So for the month of October, I found myself following about 5 different elections. The US election, which I have no control over being Canadian. Then my hometown was having an election for new mayor. My home province had an election. And then there was a by-election in Toronto that I was watching. And then there's the one in the 5 that I was really following because I was involved in it. I wasn't running, but I was filming for the BC Green Party. Now, if you're not familiar with BC politics or Canadian politics, the BC Green Party is a small but growing party in the province. There's usually 2 parties that are always fighting it out, and the BC Greens have come in as a third option, which, kind of changes the dynamic of things. So in September, I got the call. They wanted me to start working on things right away. And immediately we started noticing that the ads that were coming out from the main party who had called the election, they'd been filming weeks earlier. So for the first few weeks, I felt like I was playing catch up against a team that has more money, more people, more resources, and had, most importantly, more time to prepare. So we were just trying to get things out as fast as possible and not really worrying so much about quality so much as just content and information, because that's really what the game is. It's a game about information and, connecting with people. We're a few weeks away, but we're behind on what the other parties were already putting out for content. So the big struggle was making content on the fly and then getting to events where we could film things, which all had to be outdoors because of COVID. We definitely lucked out on weather a number of times. Feel really good about that. We actually did most of the campaign via Zoom. So I was actually in my office for most of the campaign. And so that actually was really good for time because my wife just started a nursing job. So most of my time was actually in the basement, editing, creating content there. And then otherwise just like picking up kids, getting them home, feeding them, taking them to school, taking them to their things, editing in every nook and cranny of time that I possibly had. So it was super busy time because, with a project like this, there really isn't time off because you really feel like you're actually in competition with, these other parties. So if you want rest time, you take it when you can. Usually that's while I'm waiting on notes. So I basically worked every day for 5 weeks on this one project, just churning out videos. So doing everything from, pre-roll ads for social media, YouTube, that sort of thing. Doing information videos on specific topics, or getting footage out to different candidates and campaigns, making sure that everyone has the assets that they need, and so on and so forth. Because of COVID, I couldn't travel, with the leader and the main party like I did last time. The time when I would shoot with the leader or candidates was often these very short windows, which were really just press conferences. So we'd set up press conferences, have, the media come in, cover it, have speeches, and then it's my job to, film or live stream these to be packaged later for other things. And then I have a short window of opportunity where I can actually film B-roll of people. So filming B-roll of candidates, filming B-roll of leader. And often, when I'm filming with the leader for B-roll for other things, I have maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So, she had a lot of work to do. She has to go off and be other places. You really just have a small window of opportunity, so you got to know what you're getting and what you wanted to do. And so I would just come up with a really simple action that we could do.
Follow me. Okay.
Where do you want me looking?
Looking off that way. Check out Stanley Park, the mountains, that sort of thing.
All right, got it.
And go ahead.
And then every time we had one of these, I had another set of shots that I could use, right? Which really worked for building out more complicated content later. And then that way I didn't feel like I was really just reusing the same couple shots over and over again. There was a number of options in that, which was really handy. And then after shooting with a leader, then I would just give, a bit of time to each candidate to get just like some really high quality B-roll. So I didn't get to travel to the same extent as the 2017 election, but I did get to do some. I'm just packing up right now for a shoot that I'm doing. I'm going to Vancouver Island for the next couple days to work on, hero videos for the party leader and for another candidate, and essentially get what other footage I can. I've got 2 days, and so it's going to be a whirlwind trip. All right, so right now, packing up my C200, ESR, lights, all the gear. I'm going to get in a car and drive to the island. So, all right, I'm going to pack up. So if you're ever in BC and get the opportunity to, travel around the area, I highly recommend taking a ferry somewhere. It's a really fun, interesting experience. You're out in the ocean, you're in the inlet, you're seeing all sorts of islands and water, and all sorts of beautiful things. So all of that was a ton of work up until the leadership debate. No one really knew our party leader at the time. She was elected as party leader a week before the election was called. And so this whole campaign was essentially like, get to know this lady. You should elect her for something. She did get elected, but once the leadership debates happened and people got to see, what the party is actually like, then momentum started to change. Things were going in our favor. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to sweep everything, but actually the results came in really well. We won 2 of our seats back. We almost won a third in a new riding, but we ended up losing by like 40 votes. So that's one of those every vote matters stories where it's like, it's 40 votes. It's so close. Oh well, it's unfortunate. Even though the party that I, worked my ass off for didn't win, being there, being present, showing up makes a huge difference. And so I'm really proud of the work that we did and looking forward to the next one. So if this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, subscribe and follow along. And yeah, let me know if you worked in politics, interested in using your skills to work in politics. Let's not get into a fighting match about politics. There's other, this isn't Twitter. So go take it to Twitter. Just keep it positive. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna try and sleep now.